Welcome back to Beyond World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. Mexico is facing a surge of violence after security forces killed a major cartel leader. 59-year-old Nemesio Oseguera, better known as El Mencho, was killed during a military operation in Jalisco. He led the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel and reportedly died while being airlifted after a crash with soldiers. US had offered a $15 million bounty for his capture. His death has triggered violence across several states. India, US and Canada have issued travel advisories for citizens in view of the violence. US and Canadian airlines have cancelled dozens of flights to Mexico. Russia launched a new wave of missiles and drone attacks across Ukraine. Officials said the strikes targeted energy and railway infrastructure, as well as residential areas, including the capital Kyiv. Ukraine's national police reported at least one person was killed and several others injured, including 4 children. The Air Force says Moscow fired 50 missiles and nearly 300 drones overnight, leaving parts of 6 regions without power. Ahead of the 4th anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war, thousands took part in rallies and anti-war marches in Budapest, Madrid and Barcelona as a show of support for Ukraine. Citizens and Ukrainian expats were seen chanting and marching across the streets, holding placards and the Ukrainian flag. Russian President Vladimir Putin says strengthening Russia's nuclear forces is a top priority. Putin's comment comes following the expiry of its last remaining nuclear treaty with the US. In a speech on Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day, the Russian president said that the development of the nuclear triad, which guarantees Russia's security and ensures effective strategic deterrence and a balance of forces in the world, remains an absolute priority. Iranian officials say they are hopeful for progress when talks with US negotiators resume on Thursday, aiming to prevent fresh conflict. The diplomatic push comes despite a significant American military buildup in West Asia. The United States has deployed 2 aircraft carriers, additional warships and fighter jets while reinforcing air defenses across the region. According to a report by the New York Times, President Donald Trump has told advisors he could consider broader military action in the coming months if diplomacy or any limited US strike fails to pressure Iran. Some reports suggest Western officials are also monitoring concerns that Tehran could direct proxy forces to retaliate against American targets in Europe and West Asia if large-scale strikes are ordered. A senior official from Hamas says the group is in the final stages of choosing a new leader. The race is now down to 2 long-time figures, Khalid Mishal and Khalil al-Haya, both with years of experience inside the organization. Whoever takes the post will face immediate pressure from international players, including the United States and Israel, to move forward towards a resolution. The US-brokered ceasefire entered its 2nd phase last month, but violence in Gaza has continued, with both sides accusing each other of violating the agreement. Several Iran-based Kurdish opposition groups operating from Iraq have announced a new political coalition openly calling for the overthrow of the Islamic Republic of Iran and demanding Kurdish self-determination. The exiled factions are based in the autonomous Kurdistan region, long the hub for Iranian Kurdish opposition activity. 5 organizations have joined the alliance, including the Kurdistan Freedom Party, the Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, and the Party of Free Life. The move comes amid continuing unrest in Iran, where economic hardship under sanctions sparked nationwide anti-government protests in late December. Authorities responded with force, leaving thousands reported dead. Tensions are rising again between South Korea and Japan following a Japanese government event marking a group of disputed islands. The islands, known as Dokdo in South Korea and Takeshima in Japan, have long fueled diplomatic friction. The dispute is rooted in history, particularly Japan's colonial rule of the Korean Peninsula from 1910 to 1945, which continues to shape relations today. For many South Koreans, Dokdo represents national sovereignty and independence beyond symbolism. The surrounding waters are rich fishing grounds and may hold vast natural gas hydrate reserves worth billions. Japan has suggested referring the issue to the International Court of Justice, but South Korea rejects that proposal, insisting there is no dispute to resolve. Afghanistan has rejected Pakistan's claim that at least 80 terrorists were killed in Sunday's cross-border strikes. Pakistan said it targeted 7 sites along the border to hit Afghan-based terrorist groups following recent attacks, with a security source claiming the death toll could rise further. However, a Taliban government source called the figures false and imaginary. Afghans have gathered at a mass grave to bury those killed. The two countries have been in a bitter dispute since the Taliban regained control of Afghanistan in 2021. The UN mission reports that Pakistani military actions killed 70 Afghan civilians between October and December last year. Previous ceasefire efforts, brokered by Qatar and Turkey, have failed to produce lasting peace. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's sister Alima Khan has voiced serious concerns over efforts by authorities to prevent Imran Khan from receiving a proper medical examination at a reputable tertiary care hospital. She questioned why he is not being examined and treated under the supervision of his personal doctors and in the presence of family members. She further stated that the family rejects any medical reports prepared without the involvement of Imran Khan's personal physicians and relatives. In India, the largest mega demolition in the history of the Rajkot Municipal Corporation will begin today in Jangleshwar. Demolition drive will target more than 1,400 illegal encroachments. Tight police security arrangements have been made for the mega demolition. Over 3,000 police personnel and paramilitary forces have been deployed. The Jangleshwar demolition area has been divided into 7 zones. Class 1 officers, technical staff, supervisors and field workers have been appointed in each zone. The municipal corporation has established a special control room to continuously monitor the operations from all zones. As the US prepares for a massive snowstorm, Mayor Zohran Mamdani has declared a state of emergency in New York City and imposed a travel ban, warning the city hasn't seen a storm of this scale in a decade. Forecasters say the blizzard could dump nearly 2 feet of snow. All streets, highways and ridges will close from 9 p.m. on Sunday until noon on Monday, with only emergency and essential vehicles permitted. In Boston, Mayor Michelle Wu also declared a snow emergency, ordering public schools and municipal buildings closed and urging residents to stay indoors. Ice flowed down the Vistula River on Sunday as Poland saw a thaw following nearly 2 months of extreme winter weather. The country faced abnormally cold conditions just before the new year, with heavy snow and frozen rivers, lakes and parts of the Baltic Sea. Forecasters now predict temperatures above the seasonal average, but Poland's State Institute of Meteorology and Water Management warns that rapid snow and ice melt could cause sudden rises in water levels across the Vistula River basin. A layer of toxic haze engulfed India's financial capital Mumbai on Sunday as citizens raised alarms over the pressing issue of air pollution. The air quality index in the city was recorded in the unhealthy category at 186. This according to AQI.in, a pollution monitoring agency. The city hosted the Climate Week 2026 with dignitaries including former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, advocating for collective action on climate change. India is the world's third largest emitter and has been dealing with worsening air quality in its top cities, as well as climate change-linked adverse weather events. It has accelerated climate initiatives in recent years, pledging net zero by 2070. Time now for stories from the world of business. Wall Street futures and the dollar fell in Asian trade after fresh confusion over US tariffs reignited the Sell America theme. The US Supreme Court struck down emergency tariffs from Donald Trump, prompting a new 10% global rate that was quickly raised to 15%. Deepening uncertainty for investors, Asian markets were mixed as South Korea's Kospi extended its gains for the third consecutive session, climbing 1.7% to a new record high. All eyes are now on earnings from Nvidia, which could sway the broader AI sector and the S&P 500. Oil prices dropped about 1% as the United States and Iran prepared for a third round of nuclear talks in Geneva, easing fears of military conflict. US President Donald Trump also added fresh uncertainty by lifting temporary US import tariffs to 15% after a ruling by the US Supreme Court. Brent crude slipped to around $71 a barrel. The renewed tariff concerns sparked risk aversion across markets, pressuring oil despite last week's gains of more than 5%. Talks between the United States and Iran are set for Thursday, with Tehran signaling willingness to make nuclear concessions in exchange for sanctions relief. Bitcoin tumbled more than 5%, slipping below $65,000 after Donald Trump announced plans to lift global tariffs to 15%, adding fresh uncertainty to markets. The world's largest cryptocurrency is now down 26% this year and nearly 47% from its October peak, above $125,000. The latest drop came even as Asian equities edged higher, highlighting crypto's divergence from traditional markets. Bitwise Asset Management says the sell-off reflects Bitcoin's historical 4-year cycle, with investors rotating into gold and AI stocks. Spot gold rose more than 2% on Monday, underlining the split between so-called digital gold and real gold. The US dollar edged lower after the US Supreme Court struck down most of Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs, a move traders say could support global growth. The euro and sterling both rose about 0.4%, while the yen strengthened as Asian trading remained thin. Trump responded by announcing a temporary 15% blanket import levy, adding fresh uncertainty for markets. Analysts say the ruling may limit policy volatility, but questioning remain over refunds. Future litigation and US fiscal risk, safe haven demand lifted the Swiss franc, while investors also watched Middle East tensions and upcoming US policy signals. The UAE has foiled a series of organized cyber attacks targeting the country's digital infrastructure and critical sectors. The state news agency has said that the operations included attempts to breach networks, deploy ransomware, and run coordinated phishing campaigns against national platforms. According to the Reuters report, the attackers also used artificial intelligence to develop sophisticated offensive cyber tools. The report further adds that the threats were detected and neutralized in time, preventing any major disruption. Wikipedia editors have decided to remove all links to the web archiving service Archive today across the online encyclopedia. The platform had been cited more than 695,000 times and was often used to access paywalled content for references. According to the editors, there is a consensus to depreciate the service, add it to the spam blacklist, and replace existing links with other archives like the Wayback Machine or original sources. The move follows allegations that the site used visitors' browsers to launch a distributed denial of service attack against a blogger. Anthropic has launched a new AI-powered cybersecurity feature for its coding assistant Claude, aimed at finding and fixing software vulnerabilities. Called Claude Code Security, the tool can scan an entire code base, spot weak points, and suggest ready-to-use patches for developers. According to the company, the system thinks like a human security expert, tracking how data moves inside an app to detect complex threats that traditional scanners often miss. All fixes still require human approval, ensuring developers stay in full control. In cricket, holders India suffered their first defeat of the T20 World Cup, ending their 12-match winning streak. South Africa defeated India by 76 runs in their opening Super 8 match. In a repeat of the 2024 final in Barbados, which India won by 7 runs, South Africa set the co-hosts a target of 188. A 35-ball 65 from David Miller and Devil Brevis's 29-ball 45 helped them recover from 23 after 4 overs. India's reply flattered, and they slipped to 51 for 5 by the 10-over mark before being bowled out for 111. 76-run defeat is India's biggest loss by runs in men's T20 World Cup history. It is also their first defeat in a men's World Cup match since the 2023 ODI World Cup final against Australia at the same venue. The United States won the men's Olympic ice hockey gold medal for the first time in 46 years. They defeated neighbours Canada 2-1 in a sensational conclusion to the 2026 Winter Olympics. Final gold medal of the Games was sealed by Jack Hughes in overtime. It is the first time since the miracle on ice at Lake Placid in 1980 that the USA men have won Olympic gold. This was the second ice hockey final between USA and Canada at Milan. The American women also triumphed in their gold medal match, also 2-1 in overtime. Arsenal made a title statement of intent by restoring their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 5 points with victory over Tottenham. Eberechi Eze scored in each half, while Victor Gyökeres also netted twice to seal the win for the Gunners. Victory lifted Arsenal to 61 points from 28 games, with Manchester City, who have played one game less. Tottenham, for whom new manager Igor Tudor was in charge for the first time, remains in 16th place, only 4 points above the relegation zone.